Yo, what is up, guys? My name is Thomas. I am an information engineering student at Sydney University of Hong Kong. So I just finished my whole semester. People gone home. However, since I still have a, a research assistant job here, I have to stay here in Hong Kong, or else I will be back in Taiwan and enjoy Christmas with my family. In the meanwhile, I'm going to, try to use the video to sort of rank all the courses that I took throughout the years, sort of make like a summarized video for me and the past. So I actually got some, it's a tier list video, like nothing more than that. So I tried to use the tier list thing that people use, but I thought it's a bit difficult to set them up. So what I figured out is I can use Microsoft Paint and I can use this. I use the PowerPoint to set up some blocks with the programs, with the courses that I took throughout the years. Yep. So they're categorized into like different colors. So yeah, before getting started, I think I have to say that once again, uh, these are the courses that I took, and these rankings are extremely subjective. And if you want to, learn more about the courses, you definitely have to look at their curriculums. However, the curriculums changes from year to year, so I'm not sure if this video will help anyway. Uh, yeah, it's a very selfish video that I'm going to make myself. So uh, let's start ranking uh, these pieces of shit. So here we have a Microsoft Paint. It's the easiest thing that I can get. So let me also get a list of notes that I got here. Okay. All right, so firstly, we are going to start with the university requirements. These are the courses that you have to take if you are a student in City University of Hong Kong. And so let's start with the English course. So in the English course, it's called University English. And you can see there's another course called Engineering English here. Um, I call it that because university English is the English course that every university students have to take, and you also have to take another subject English. So for engineering students, it's engineering English, and for the UE, as we like to call it, um, I think they did a great job at making the course interesting. It's not just an English course. They actually teach you how to like make infographics and how to write a report about a certain subject. It's an essay course, so you have to write about something. I think I wrote, but you can literally write about anything. I think I wrote an essay about like K-pop, which was what I was into. I was obsessed with K-pop by the time I entered this university. Yeah, and for the English engineering English course, I think they also did a great job because the content in the courses is very solid. They have meeting email drafting, and they also do like a model meeting to practice uh, t- like oral English during meetings and interviews. And you can also learn about how to write meeting agendas, meeting minutes, which may or may not help me during my with my experience after getting into the research lab. Yeah, so um, like overall, I think their curriculum is pretty solid. Their instructors are extremely helpful, although most of them are like PhD students. But they are as helpful as fuck. The difficulty is pretty good and pretty easy. The workload you do have to like do some work, but overall, I think it is a B plus for this course here. So I'll put it here in B plus. Okay, so another one of the other course that I have to mention that everyone must take in CityU is called CCIV. Uh, basically it's Chinese culture and English. And for someone who can speak fluent Mandarin, it's not really something that I am into learning. However, you do have to, learn about some history, which sometimes are already covered in our education in high school, with, as a Taiwanese student. But I guess for like Western students, this is something that can, embrace themselves. I'm not sure if they will change this into some more political stuff, but at this moment, it's all about like Chinese language and history. I don't think it's necessary for us to learn this in college. I think it's a bit boring. It's pretty mid. Um, yeah, the curriculum is it's not structured well. The structure is pretty good. The difficulty is very easy. The workload is very mid tier. But however, it's not like a very easy course to get through. The grading system is extremely competitive because when it is like easy for everyone, you're not going to get like a high grade easily. And I don't think it has contributed to me or my profession at all. So I will put it in C tier. Oh, okay, so the next one is a collective courses. These are called the general electives, or GE as we like to call them. So these are like a set of classes that you have to take that are not related to your programs, but you can take them. So we have like three major areas in CityU, and you have to like pick some courses among them. I took five of the courses. I think I took an IT surveying course and another um, finance management course. I can't really remember all of them, but I think like they're pretty mid, and generally they're like general elective courses. They're very easy to most of the people, and their grading is not bad. However, it's since it's like easy to most of the people, it's also hard to get like an A minus even. So I think I will put the general electives collectively here at level B, at B tier. Yeah. Okay, so these are the university requirements. And next up, we will have the what we call the engineering uh, college requirement. So first up, we have general physics and chemistry. For Taiwanese students, I would say they are like really simple because most of the stuff in physics and chemistry are already taught and covered in our high school. I didn't study hard, however, I still got like A minuses. So quick, pretty good. And if I have like a chance to, relive my life again, I would definitely study hard to get an A because it's like not easy to get an A in EE. And loading is not bad, and the capacity of the class is extremely high. It's like 200 to 300 something people. Yeah, the curriculum is okay. It's general physics and general chemistry. Yeah, and the workload is not very high. It's like you have to do some assignments, you have to do some quizzes. It's just a pretty mid-tier courses. But I think for the basic courses for engineering, it is what it is. So I'll put this in B tier. So coming up as well are the math courses that I have. They have in engineering. So for EE students, you have to take some courses, collective courses like three courses, but they have like pretty weird curriculum structures. So three courses would be like like a collection of engineering math, calculus, and algebra. Um, it's very hard to like set them apart from another. So also I will be ranking them collectively. I I think like in general it's a pretty mid course, right? They're kind of mid, but also necessary for engineering students. I think I kind of get it, but yeah, there are math courses and you have to take them. And I think they're okay, but they're like their instructors are not were not as helpful as the ones they have for physics and chemistry. So in terms of the curriculum, I would put math a bit higher than physics and chemistry, but for the instructor quality, it's the opposite. Yeah. So next up, we'll go to uh, the computer science courses. So in electrical engineering, we have three different majors. For my major, which is information engineering, you do have to take like some computer science courses. So the first one that I will introduce is the CS 1102, the CS 1102. So this one is pretty weird. It teaches you like a lot of basic things about computer system and just very general elective structured computer science course. You learn about what is a browser, the basics of HTTP, how a computer works. You have like sensors and actuators, other peripherals. Uh, so it's not that hard for us, I guess. And the medium they used to use is Scratch, which is something that we are like over with. I played Scratch when I was in uh, I think in elementary school even, but I believe that I played Scratch when I was in middle school. So this is like extremely easy, uh, extremely easy shit. And they do have like a pretty loose grading. The instructor is pretty mid. Um, the curriculum and the difficulty is just bad. Yeah, so there's no way that I give this like a high tier, and I'm giving it like a C. So what I would do that so what I would so what I did in this when I was taking this course was that um, it feels like you have to like waste 3 hours collectively each week, right? You have to play some scratch, and you have to put in the time to play with the blocks. I'm not saying that uh, Scratch is lame. I'm saying that for someone that can already code, you don't have to learn about Scratch. And I think putting the bar so low and just blatantly ignore all the students that have experience with Scratch is dumb, and they did a bad job on this one. Yeah. So for the next CS course is CS 2311. It starts with a 2 because it is mainly for sophomore students. It's called Introduction to Programming. It's a C++ course. I think the curriculum is well designed and the instructor is mid. However, I think for someone who learned C++ and basic programming before, this is a very like a solid training. They do have some like lead code, uh, like uh, coding problems for you to solve. So I would say it's pretty okay. Yeah, it's a course that I would recommend. Even other people that are not like engineering students to take to learn about programming. So I'll put them in B. It's a pretty good course, I think, for people. Yeah, generally. All right. So next up is the more technical course called operating system. So you might be a bit uh, surprised that I'll put this here because it is one of the course that is conducted by the computer science department. And so here it is. I actually really like this the content in this course, and one of the the instructor was pretty helpful and everything was pretty great, except for the loading. The loading is just a bit too much. And although I like it a lot, I really like the systematic stuff of of the computers. And I think that they need to readjust the loading for a bit. For I think even for junior students is a bit much because for like E students you have to take like 5 or 6 courses per semester, and each courses have a lecture and also some live sessions. So which is like a lot. And for this, the loading is just overwhelming. And but even like on that note, I would still put it like B plus since I really like the content, and I think every engineering students can start take it to learn a bit deeper about like computers. So the very last uh, computer science program, the computer science courses uh, that we're ranking today is the introduction to data database, and this is basically just a course about SQL. The curriculum design is very good. I think after taking this, you can have a solid knowledge about data, like how data structure are being stored, and you can also learn about like different uh, type of um, database, such as SQL, non-SQL. Yeah, and all that said, I think I will give it an A, my first A today. Yeah, it's a pretty great course, and I'm also very into it. It's very intuitive as well. Yep, so that will be the end of all the CS courses. And now we're getting into the courses that are conducted by the E department. We will first start with the requirements of information engineering, which means that if you are an information engineering students, you have to take them no matter what. So let's start with what you have to take in year one as uh, as in as a freshman in college. Yeah, oops. Okay, so the first one is called GE 1341. It's called GE because it's a very easy course and people from other subjects can also take it. However, it's called Introduction to Electrical Engineering Design. It's a very solid course. You do have to play. You can play with Arduino, which is a very introduction an introduction level course, an entry level course to electrical engineering. You do get a main idea of how electrical engineering works, and I think nowadays still have this called the project based learning. So there are like 2 tracks. You can listen to lectures and then turn in assignments and give a presentation about your project, and just like every other course. But there's also another track called project based learning, or PBL, which is what I took. You basically do like several projects every week. I think every 2 weeks you do a project and then you do reports. So it's like very project based, and I think it's very fun. For an intro level course, it really stimulates the interest of students on the subject. So for this one, I'm giving it an A as well. For an introductory course, it's a great job done. Yeah. So the next one is one of the other introductory course in EE. It is more theory related course. It's about digital and information. So you learn about how all the data, everything is stored in zeros and one, and how to transform a binary digit, binary number into like a decimal one. And what you can also do is they also teach you how how the decimal numbers, right, the floating numbers are being stored in the format of zeros and ones, and they provide like a basic knowledge of the information theory. I'm not sure if you can call that information theory because it's a very hard topic. It can get very deep. However, you do learn a lot about how the information like stuff works. Another good example is the pigeonhole questions, and yeah, you have to like solve a problem based on the information given. You also learn about the Boolean algebras, so it's a very like informative course in the introductory level. Yep, so you can actually learn something that can be helpful. And jokes aside, this course was taught by other instructors. However, in the recent semesters, this course, half of the course is taught by my current supervisor. So I think I have to, put it up front and make it clean. So with all that, I'm going to rank my experience uh, in the course, which is B plus. It's a pretty decent course. Yeah, and you can actually learn a lot while taking this course. Yep. So the last course or like a set of courses that you have to take uh, the in your first year is the circuitry courses, and I actually combined the EE 1002 and EE 2301 together, since they're just like circuitry one and circuitry two. Nothing else. You learn about voltage, capacitor, resistor, all that kind of stuff, which is pretty mid. However, I think their mistake here is their curriculum is designed pretty strange, like comparing to what I know other people have, in Taiwan. It's pretty strange, and there's a lot of things that you learn and you do not learn. For example, you will have to learn about like CMOS in year one, which is very strange because at that point you haven't even learned about impedance yet, and you are now just like feeding your students like something that is more high level, I think. And yep, so for circuitry, uh, I think I will give it a B. It's a must take. However, I do think that they should have designed it like better. Yes. All right, now to the second year, the sophomore year in City University of Hong Kong as an EE student. So next up is the logic circuit course. Um, this one is very interesting. I think the instructor is one of my favorite instructor in college. It's called Dr. Ray. It's a very solid course. It teaches you about like logic gates and how do you draw like diagrams with them. Um, One thing that may be a pro or a con based on your opinion is that they use FPGA, which is something you use to program a chip, right? You can actually program like logic gates with like this device. So you have to use some certain language called VHDL or Verilog. And when I was taking the course, they use VHDL, which is a more of a like a in my understanding, it's a less popular language for FPGA. I'm not sure. To my understanding, most of the chip designers uses Verilog. So you might be thinking, right? It's a bit weird because you only need to learn about logic gates, but they're like using this high level stuff to learn logic gates. And one thing that is absolutely a defect of using FPGA as the material is the editor of the language. It's called Vivado. To me, it's very hard to use this motherfucker. Uh, I think it's a few tens of gigabytes, and it takes like lots of time to compile a code. And when you're a student, when you're a newbie to a language, you do have to like compile it over and over again. So it was a pain in the ass, and yeah, it's a bit annoying. So, but all in all, I'll give it a B for that defect. It should have been a B plus, I would say. Yep. So next up we have the EE2004, which is basically the equivalence of computer organization or computer architecture. Uh, but what they do is they use something like a microcontroller to teach computer organization. Uh, I know in our schools they use uh, x86 language, but in this they use something called the PIC18 language, whatever that is. I actually forgot what it's about, but you have to learn about assembly code and how to use a microcontroller to do stuff. And they do have a project. They do have like uh, different lab sessions. So it's actually like a lot of loading in this course. However, I still think that with the content that it provides, it's a very solid course. So I'll give it a B plus, above average, right here. Okay, so next up is the Introduction to Information Engineering, which is EE2302. It is another weird course that City University has, because in City University, you only have like every course is 3 credit units, and you only need like uh, 120 to graduate. So which means that you have to like stuck everything into the 40 courses that you require students to take, and it's a pain in the ass. So people in the department like try to stuff different things together to form a more collective course, which is this one. It plays a good example. It's a amalgam of, I think, um, cryptography and also logic. You also learn a bit about algorithm, so it's a bit weird to really characterize that. But it's definitely like it's definitely like a successor of the EE1001 right here. Yep. And also I think uh, it has like pretty good content. If it has like a better structure, has a better curriculum, it would have been better. It's I would say it's pretty easy. I'm not sure if that is fair or not. The loading is pretty low. Yeah, one of the easiest course that you have to take, and you actually learn something. So for that, I will give it a B plus. All right, and next up we have the data structure and algorithm course. So this course is one of the most infamous course that you can find in City University of Hong Kong, the E department here. Um, one, one reason is that it was one of the hardest course that you can find in your 4 years of EE experience. It used to be taught by someone called Dr. Pao, who was called, the coding king of the Hong Kong University, and he is pretty harsh on us, students. He thinks that all students are dumb, and that's not an understatement, by the way. And it's often like, I think, mid level of leak code uh, problems every week, and you do have to do it's weekly assignments, and sometimes it's just too much, and it's pretty frustrating. But for coding, I think it's a great course for you to really uh, get to know what it's like to code stuff. Uh, yeah. Although the loading is a bit high, so all that, like, with everything, I will put it at B tier because it was a nightmare to me. And another course, which is its successor, it's called the EE 3206. It's about Java programming, and more than that, it's object-oriented programming. It also has like high loading and high difficulty, and the structure is basically the same, and the curriculum structure is pretty much the same. You do learn more about object-oriented programming, as it is called, and you learn a bit about how to make a UI, a user interface with Java, and in data structure and algorithm, use C++, and in Java, and in this course, you use Java. So it's actually another like introductory course to the language of Java. However, it's a successor of the data structure and algorithm course, because it's basically, I think, they try to teach a collective knowledge about like data structure, algorithm, and object oriented programming with two languages, so that they can say that we include C++, we also include Java, but we also cover these topics, including data structure, algorithm, and OOPs. So yeah, again, I will put it in B. Yep. So next up, it's a course called Engineering in Society, which is one of the hated course in EE. However, I do think it's pretty interesting because unlike all the other courses that are about like technical skills and knowledge, this one's more about like the soft skills, what you need to be a engineer in the society, and you do have to uh, pay a bit of work to all its assignments. You write about like some reflection essays. I think it's a bit like a seminar plus project based course. It's another amalgam course provided by the department. And recent years, because startup is the thing, they try to like teach us about startup. They invite alumni, researchers to hold talks, and yeah, I think what I can tell is that for its final project, what I did was a proposal, like a pitching for a startup, imaginary startup that we built. It's actually pretty cool. I kind of like it, and that's why I'm giving it a B plus. However, I do think that a lot of EE people from the university will disagree with that. Yep. So that will bring us to the junior year courses, the year three courses here. So the first course here is called the first year course. It's not engineering and society. It should be communication theory. So what I have to say is that this course is a very challenging course. Um, I think it's one of the more math related course you do have to learn about like signal and how modulation different modulation works. Uh, Yeah, it's a communication course. It's an introductory communication course. Lots of math, and you do have to, like work hard in order to get a good grade. However, it's all of the courses. The instructor, uh, she was very kind enough to give me like a recommendation letter uh, for my graduate application. So thank you for that. However, I do think that it's a pretty average course, so that's why I'm giving it a B. Wait, I think I have to like sort of expand that for a bit. Yeah. Okay. So um, the next course or courses that I want to talk about is one of my favorite course in CityU. They are the EE 309 and EE 3315 or computer networks. This course was actually broken into two courses uh, because in 309 they teach about the bottom three layers of the OSI model, and in 3315 they teach about the rest of the layers in the OSI models. So they teach uh, it from like an bottom up approach, unlike the book they use is written in a top down approach, right? It's one of the most popular books when it comes to computer networks. However, I'm not sure if one of the reasons is like I like computer network a lot, or is that it's another my one of my favorite instructor, Sammy Chan, and yeah, kudos to him. Uh, Great instructions and great experience taking the course. So that's why I'm giving this course my first S tier course or A plus. Basically the same. Yeah. So we're jumping all the way from heaven to hell because the next course that we have here is the signal and system course. Yeah, so a lot to say about this. It's about signal and system, of course. Uh, Another math related course. Uh, yeah, but one thing about it, like probably the worst thing about it, I think it's one of the uh, bad temper instructor that I've ever seen in CityU. Uh, yeah, and it's pretty weird because that instructor has his profession in like I forgot what the research topic of his is. However, I do think that he is like a bit off topic. The course has high loading. It's a lot of work, It's definitely a challenging course, and with the instructors, being not as helpful as others, it was not a good experience. And that's why I'm giving it a C. So we're going all the way from A to C. Yeah. So the next one coming up is the project design or design project or EE 3070. I would say it's a successor of the GE 1341 course. It's another project oriented course that you can take. It's all about trying to figure out projects. It's once again using Arduinos to build something, but this time you have to like give some technical. You have to like write a technical document about a product. um, this is also a very, it has a high ceiling. If you follow everything it sets on the like instruction manual, you can get in like a B plus or even A minus. However, I do have a friend that tried to design his own project, and it was pretty challenging. He even designed its own app to control the device that he built. So he got an A plus, and I think well fucking deserved. However, it's if you really want to get a high grade, you have to put it extra miles to get that, right? So I think it's a pretty great course, and yeah, even for like junior students, uh, Arduino is not that boring for us. So yeah, that will be a B plus. Oh, excuse me, an A here. Yep, one of the more well-structured courses. So next up is the optimization course. It is taught by one of the most respected scholars here in CityU, uh, Professor Zuckerman. He was one of the big boys in the department. It's all about optimizations. So you can already imagine it's lots of algorithms, graph theories, uh, yeah, and like um, yeah, how to find like the short steps, all that, like k-means. So I think for this course, it's pretty solid. You do have to participate in they create study groups uh, for you to attend. You do have to attend them. You do have to take notes. Uh, yeah, you have to do some extra work. So the loading is pretty high. However, I do think that the content and the instructor made a great compensation. So I'm going to give it my second S here. Great course in general. So the next course, it's another like math course. It's about probability, but it's an EE course for whatever reason. It used to be taught by the math department. However, it's now an EE course. It's basically probability, yeah, everything probability related, and random value, random functions. So yeah, basically that's it. Um, I'm giving it B plus. It's one of the better math course that I had in my 4 years. Yep. So those are the department requirement courses for the information engineering students. However, we do have like what we call the free electives. It doesn't mean that you can pick like any courses. You do have like some courses that you can choose from uh, that are somehow related to your program. So it's a pool of courses that you can choose from. Yeah, and I took 6 of them so far, and I'll go through and I'll go ahead and like rank every each of them. So the first one is 4060. Wow, what a terrible color. 4060. It's one of the cores that is more of a clickbait. Uh, because its name is called like application to AI, application of AI on engineering or that stuff. It has the word application. However, it's all about the theories, right? So it's nothing about application. And I think that's a bit clickbaity to me because if I knew that it's a theory a more theory course, I wouldn't have taken it because I'm not that good at uh, when it comes to theory. Yeah. So, however, I do think that it's pretty solid content told, and yeah, I would still give it like a B plus here. Okay. So the next free elective course, that we have is Internet Finance. It's another course that is a bit easy. You do need to use Python to do some like graphing and even some data processing, but it's pretty easy, I would say. One of the more challenging, the more interesting thing they have is the project to simulate uh, blockchain. So that's one of the more interesting stuff that they have. And overall, I think it's a pretty mid course. It's an easy course that you can get like high grades, but I don't think that you can learn that much if you take this course. So that's why I'm giving it a B. Next up is the EE 40, 14, 40 36 or wireless communication. It's actually a course taught by my current supervisor. All in all, I think it's a pretty math-oriented course. You do have to do a lot of calculations, signal like about you have to calculate this like the signal strength, uh, like free pass loss, attenuation, and link budget, but you can also learn like about some more systematic things about different wireless technologies such as Wi-Fi and Zigbee and other IoT related technologies such as LoRa, Sigfox, and NB-IoT. However, not a lot. It mainly focuses on the more technical or the math stuff. The test is pretty tough. You do have to, you know, do some calculations, and there are some like open question problems. The system design problem, quote unquote. It's pretty easy for me because I've been in a lab, that spent some time designing wireless systems. However, for average students, I think it can be a bit challenging for them. And yeah, I'm not sure if they can like handle that much. However, I think the content is pretty good. It has a lot of technical stuff. It also includes some systematic stuff about the system structure, and also introduced a bit about the protocols. Yeah, but it would have been like like a top tier course if they do not focus on like Zigbee, which is a more outdated technology, right? So that's why I'm giving it a B plus. Yeah. Okay. So next up is what we call the HCI, or the where's my cursor? Or the human computer interaction course is another course that I like a lot, and it's taught by one of the instructor that was kind enough to write me some recommendation letters for my graduate school admission. Dr. Rosa Chan, thanks a lot. I do like this course. Uh, it's nothing technical. However, you do learn like a lot of the concepts on HCI, which is a softer topic. It's a relatively easy course. The load is okay. You do have to like do some works. It's a bit more like on paper works. However, I do think that you can learn a lot if you want to be like a project manager in like after graduated. I think it's a great course that you can take. Uh, yeah, to learn something about user interface and user experience. Very underrated course, and I'm giving it an S. great instructor, by the way. Uh, I actually picked her as one of my recommenders because I like her uh, teaching a lot, and that's why I chose her to be one of my recommenders. It's not because you know that she's my recommender that I'm saying that I like her teaching. I like her teaching a lot. One of the top tier instructors that we have at CityU, the E department. Up next is the cloud computing course, or the 4221. Um, for this one, it's a bit of an odd one because you do actually, learn things like concepts about like cloud computing. For me, someone that is interested in networking, systematic stuff, this is definitely going to be a top tier course for me. Yeah, and the medium they use is AWS. So I'm not sure if AWS sponsored this, but they kind of use AWS as the teaching materials. uh, yeah. However, the instructor was one of the most boring instructor that I had in CityU. He just like literally uh, read his scripts that he took, or you just read the PowerPoint anyway. The PowerPoint is full of text, and I think he just straight up read from the first word to the last one. Yep, and that's why I'm giving it a B plus, even though I like the content a whole fucking much. I'm giving it a B plus. Yep, the last course that we are ranking for today is the course that I took this semester, mobile networks, and it's actually called mobile data networks. You learn about cellular and mobile system. You also learn about Wi-Fi and some technical stuff behind it. A bit of math, but generally it's more systematic course. So that's why I like it a lot. However, it's another course taught by Sammy Chan, the instructor who taught the 3009 computer networking course. So I do have to like uh, give both of them some compare up two of them. Yeah, I do think that uh, the course curriculum of this course is a bit outdated because they focused a bit too much out, if you will, on 1G and 2G and 3G. Instead, they only go all the way to LTE, and they cover nothing about uh, 5G. And I think for an E student who likes to learn about cellular mobile networks here, I think you have to cover that because it's definitely something that will be beneficial to us uh, when we get out of here. Yeah, but overall, it's a pretty good course. It has some defects; it's not perfect. That's why I'm going to put it on A tier. Yep. So I think that's all. Maybe I can see if I'm missing any other courses that I have today. Yep. So this is going to be the final version of the of the tier list, and I think it's pretty much summarized all the stuff that I've learned throughout the years. And yeah, so that will be the end of this video. And if you are a CityU student, leave the comment below and discuss with me what your experience about certain course is. And once again, these courses, the tier list of these courses are based on my experience, all right, and my opinions, very subjective. And also the curriculum of the program changes every once in a while. I would argue that they're different, like for every years. And yeah. that will be the end of this video. I will do another video, I think, very quick about my analysis on the whole CityU EE programs. I think they have four majors right now, so maybe I can, have some like thoughts on that as well. That will be a video coming up next. Yep. Before the tier list video, that will be it for today. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.